Good evening, good evening, good evening, all. Welcome to BeoTalk number 334. Willie is a bit late. He, I think, timed it right, but weather got in the way. And he'll be here in a minute or two. But he had to drive home and focus. Yeah, you can't see any lines. So it took a bit longer. But then that's Canada for you, I guess. Hope everybody's doing well. Let's get some filling out the way. Go buy yourself some nice stuff at Skinny Play. Use the promo code to get 10% off. It should be in the description and now in the chat. Come join our Discord if you haven't yet already. There is a lot of good stuff going on there. Wait, Willie tried to call me, but it didn't work for some reason. Oh no. No. Yeah.
Right on. I made it home, everybody. God, this. What a freaking wow. It is not fun. But I see you on the stream, so we're good, I guess.
All right. Because I don't know which to unplug and plug in back again. I can try while live, but it's gonna make it awful.
It's gonna screw us up.
Yeah, probably.
That's just where it's at.
Yeah. I was nearly done with the shilling. Oh god! For some reason, it changed all the audio formats again. Oh, we're good again. Yes. Oh, what other shilling was I was gonna do? Oh yeah, this one. Go buy yourself a black Beolab 8 cover from Tigrino Studio. Get 10% off, even off a single item, or I guess that comes to 20 for 2 items. Yeah, very, very nice covers.
Tigrino rules, man. I like it.
Life getting a bit in the way of the video, but it's coming. I have been filming. I just haven't had time to like finish it up and put it all together yet. So we'll do that soon. Yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It's coming. I'm making a coffee for God's sakes. What a freaking disaster on the roads, man. Holy fuck.
Why? Well, yeah, so it snowed and you didn't know, or what?
No. It just, within an hour, it became so bad. Because I went to drop my girlfriend off, and it was okay on the way, but it just got, I think we're going to get another 35 centimeters of snow overnight.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, we had a huge storm 2 days ago, which was, I think, close to 40. So there's so much snow everywhere that I don't know, like, tomorrow I got to go to the job. If it's downtown, forget it, because you can't park.
Yeah, because like there'll be banks on the side of the road.
Oh, dude, the banks are taller than me, and I'm 178, and there's taller snowbanks than my body, for God's sakes. It is it's fun. Oh yeah.
Wow.
We couldn't get it to the car because it was too much, but I got my girlfriend a Valentine's present, which is Le Cat. This thing was a fun build, man. The only thing I don't like that the head is a little wobbly, but there's nothing that we did that was wrong with it. That's just the instructions. But yeah, it's pretty cool.
What does the cat think about the cat?
She doesn't care, but for me, it's weird because I had it on the countertop when we finished it, and I go out in the middle of the night to get a drink. Like, what the fuck is the cat doing sitting there all weird? It's not the cat. It's the Lego cat.
All right.
So yeah, a lot of laughs. So here's I'm gonna be drinking out of this because I have a chance to do the dishes. So
That's all right. Works.
little Lego cup to go boot with. So yeah. So
So,
what's interesting?
B&O is obviously doing a bunch of custom stuff.
But is it if they waiting for? I guess they pile up the orders to make it minimum of some sorts.
I have a feeling it semi depends on how crazy you want to go.
That true.
Like, I don't know. I would say the wait is too long personally, but it depends a bit. But then again, I'm not much one for the ultra custom stuff.
No.
So I guess I'm not that affected. But like, I guess we'll start the poll.
To me, I think they bank off of the fact, like if you look at ordering custom furniture, you're also waiting 3 to 4 months for it as well. So I guess the wait time is it's what comes with it. And then again, if you're building a home, right, that you're good and all the B&O gear in it, and you personally, I guess, as the experience would speak, you would try to get this sorted out right away, because by the time you finish the house in a year or 2 years, then the price of that product maybe by then 20% more.
Yeah, which is also kind of insane.
So yeah, we've had some clients that bought a whole bunch of gear and now we're just storing it because it's just too much of a difference. Sometimes it more or less makes more sense to just buy it all and put it in the storage locker, and you pay less than what the premium is on a price price raise from B&O by default.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially on 90s, right? Like if they go up 10%, like that's what, 15 grand now, 20 grand Canadian, it's probably even more.
Well, yeah, our dollar sucks. So that Harmony looks beautiful, by the way, but I'm sure that those covers are more expensive than the entire Harmony motor sound center on its own.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, for these 90s, like, yeah, how long are you gonna wait for them? I guess they made like what, 50 of those copies or 50 pairs of that limited edition deal.
Yeah, I mean they're only 250 grand, right? US.
Yeah.
So they're what, like 400 grand Canadian?
Yeah. Well, technically, I have a Porsche 911 parked in my house, right?
Yeah.
With those speakers, so. But yeah, it depends on what. Like, I don't know. I would really. The only thing that I would get is a Bonfire Orange B&O remote.
Why Bonfire Orange?
Because it fucking almost glows in the dark and you can't really lose it between the sheets. And yeah, there's a few people that we've had. There's one guy that bought a black theater and got himself a black Beo Remote one, or the anthracite one, and now we're gonna be switching his chassis for a silk or a silver because he can't find it on the black leather couch, because it's all dark in a theater, right? And good luck.
Maybe you should
at least
find,
you can find the
these,
remote.
One of these old Russian canisters with like that tritium paint, right? Like that's paint that gives you all sorts of illnesses.
Put tritium buttons on the Beo Remote one, but yeah, hopefully they'll come up with a new remote that is backlit, because it just makes no sense. It's been freaking 13 years of this Beo Remote one with no backlit buttons, and people cried about it, and I can't believe B&O is still hard-assed about not putting the backlighting in there.
Maybe they're just incapable. I don't know.
You know what? We've taken apart the Beo Remote one on one of the podcasts, and I think that if they just put a film of that light dispersing polycarbonate material or whatever it is, I think they could afford to do that. Like, LEDs are not the size of LEDs that used to be in the Pure 4, these big bulby freaking whatever.
Yeah.
Like, now LEDs are the size of nothing on a PCB board. So why not scatter a few of them around and at least, backlight at least the most important functions, but at that point you might as well just backlight the whole thing.
I mean,
But
you also don't need 500 lumen out of a key. You need, like, I don't know, 1 or 5.
you just need a little to see the bloody buttons, man. Like, you don't need much, but I'm so tired of this topic, and it's just never changing. So it is what it is. So what is all that stuff that we're looking at? Is that the bespoke or
Yeah, it's convoluted in what they're calling it, so I don't even know what it is, but you can get it like this. I think it's the bespoke thing, or is it the custom thing?
well, isn't the custom now basically the bespoke of the atelier? So I just don't know. I'm glad that they've gone with the atelier. Like, we've had a few. Our theater came in orange or that honey tone. I don't know honestly how they put this bespoke stuff together, but this was the worst theater that I had ever had a chance to put together, man. I could not put the wings on it. There's a 10 millimeter gap instead of 4 millimeter gap from the grill to the bottom of the aluminum. It's we had to RA that. It's a shit show. It's not working properly. Not that it's not working properly, just it's too much gap. Plus that bloody cabinet, man. We're gonna load it in my van. Thank Christ it didn't fit. The display cabinet is heavier than than a Lab 90. Actually, it's the same weight in the crate. It's 177 kilos for the cabinet.
Holy moly!
Yeah, so, and we're already lost one guy because he injured his back. So we're gonna get the movers this week, I think, whenever the snow kind of subsides, and have it brought into the shop, and then unpack it and set it all up and get it going.
Why is it so heavy?
I don't know, man. It's a fucking. I think it's a 3/4 inch MDF, not MDF, but it's like the compressed fiber board. It's not MDF, but it's the rough MDF. And that's the whole crate built out of. So I think the crate itself is at least 30 kilos. And I don't know if there's stuff in the drawers or it's just what it is. But if it's MDF, and most likely it's going to be veneered with aluminium, like all the B&O, I don't think the aluminium is that much weight. But there's a lot of weight in that cabinet. I haven't seen it. I'll report back next Sunday when we have it unpacked if we get it into the shop. But yeah, that wood looks weird. I don't like that wood.
I do.
It's too busy.
I mean, I really like it. God, somebody on Discord made one like a year and a half ago. Made his own version. I mean, they finally took some inspiration, I guess, because, I mean, people have been asking for it for a while.
Well, but they've had it on CES so many years ago as well. Even with the halos, like, remember the circle wall of halos? It had what, 12 colors in there. Like, this atelier, to me, it's not really that new. It's something that finally had taken off, but I've seen that bespoke nonsense in 2021, 2022 on the CES.
Actually, for the Halo, I would get this front cover. That's one of the few things I would buy a quote-unquote custom piece for, because I think that looks quite nice in normal oak. I think here it matches whatever this is, right?
Yes. I would also get the polished ring if we're talking bespoke. I think that'd be a cool idea too. But yeah, I don't know about that beach glass with the yellow. It's kind of weird setup. I don't think I would ruin my 50s with that color.
I kind of like it. It's sort of a strange retro vibe.
Yes.
Especially like this. I think this looks quite good, actually.
Funny thing is that somehow they're able to do the lenses inside the 50s.
Yeah, except for when they're like piano black.
It's weird.
It makes no sense.
But yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure I want to pay 50% more for this. That's not what I'm saying, but I do think it looks quite nice.
I think that bespoke stuff is almost gonna be bound to the home and the decor in it as you build it, and it stays there with the decor, I guess. I don't know. It's just some colors I just wouldn't do, but it's me. I'd probably do the red rails on the or the crowns on the 90s. Those would look cool, but 90s already are a statement as they are. I don't know. To each their own, I guess. There's a lot of colors you can pick from, and I'm certain that the palette that they are providing is more or less just a gateway into the infinity, because if you are able to send them your own color sample of something, I think that they can that they would be able to match it for you. So
yeah, I think that's kind of almost where the problem is, right? Like, there's too many options.
I think there's too many options for a regular customer. If you are involved with someone that does your home as from the interior design perspective, I think there's almost not enough. But then again, you're paying the professional to make it all match, right? Where if you go in there, this is more or less the same trouble that the Shape has faced since it came out.
Yeah.
That people had the scare of commitment to the tiles of whatever fabric color you choose, and shape of it, quote unquote, is another thing, and that's where you kind of get into the interior designer deal. But I don't know. I'm still baffled that they don't make walnut covers for the Shape. It's only smoked oak, because I would buy me some.
Again, that's one of these things where they sell a wood species forever and then sort of ditch it. I don't understand it.
What blows my mind that remember when the BeoLab 18s came out, they were oak, maple,
Plastic white and plastic black.
Plastic white, plastic black, and the walnut wasn't. If it was, I think it was custom at the time.
Yeah.
And then maple was discontinued, and now it's reintroduced with the Atelier again. But you can't do anything with the 18s because they're off the portfolio for the Atelier. Whatever orders were submitted, they're gonna go through, but it's done. Which I think
Weird.
The writing's on the wall for the 18s. I honestly think the writing's on the wall for the 18s. And now, I guess not to speculate, but I'm gonna.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for. I speculate that they will discontinue the 18s this year.
Sorry, I'm laughing at Steve. Plastic black, that would be anthracite polymer.
In BeoSpeak. But yeah, I think that my speculation would be 18s have been replaced, or they've replaced 8000s, which means that Shape has been around now for at least a quarter of a century as far as the speaker is, right?
Mm-hmm.
My guess is that they will introduce something with a similar shape, maybe, or a similar speaker that's going to be the 100th anniversary. I don't think they're going to go something that is above the 90s, because that's just ludicrous. What are you going to make? You're going to make a 200 kilo speaker with 24 drivers instead of 14 inside. I think we've reached the acoustic limit. The only thing I think you can improve on the 90s is if you just put better guts in it. And the room compensation, that you would improve the room comp all the way to, let's say, 15K hertz.
I think you can do a similar performing speaker that is just a different shape and slightly different sound, right? Because there is no reason why you can't go taller with the 90, but narrower.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you will, like a gigantically fat BeoLab 1 idea type thing that still fits like a 12-inch driver in it, but like that's the width, right? Like it's like whatever, 12, 13-inch wide, and that's about it. Mm-hmm. Whereas like the 90s are huge, right? So you could do something that's I don't know, like 4 or 5 inches wider than, or maybe only 2 inches wider than a Beolab 50, but like double the length. And have way more, like, because I think they'll probably say something along the lines of, the reason for the height is if you sit that the tweeter isn't too high, but surely you can steer that with more height, where like you point it down or.
Well, but not why not have, if it's a tall speaker like the Beolab 1 per se of that height, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not have the mid-range drivers and the tweeters at the ear level, and then have another set as assignable as heights?
Yeah, something like that.
Because at that point they're tall enough that you could get away with that. But I don't think they're going to go with anything that is a copious amount of aluminium, because if you look at the recent production of everything, like even the theater, yes, it looks like there's a lot of aluminium on it, but it's only 3 pieces that are aluminium. The rest is all polycarbonate plastic and PCB boards inside, and a metal substrate.
Yeah,
you look at the
with the price of energy, it's too expensive to make aluminium.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, and that's probably why the writing on the wall would be for the Lab 18s. All the aluminium is coming from Germany, which, as we all know, they've made some very smart decision regarding their energy capabilities and sources. So it's going to be up in price.
Yeah, they'll probably revert back to wood and stuff.
There's a lot more wood. Like if you look at the Lab 8s, or that there's very minimal aluminium. It looks like there's a lot of it, but it's not really that much. And also the production process of that aluminium is not that difficult, in my opinion, because they're basically just doing the tubes or bending it. I don't know what the process is. I haven't been in the B&O factory tour for the Lab 8s, but I'm suspecting that it's the same. Like I guess the most real estate on the with aluminium right now would be the 18s and the 50s.
Yeah, I think it's mostly flow formed, and then you cut a bunch of pieces out.
Yeah. So, and I think somebody said David said that they should keep the acoustic lens. I think that the acoustic lens is dying off. More or less, I think, like we suspected earlier, that it's the licensing fees that they don't have to pay anymore, because they can compensate for all of this now with DSP, just by simply putting drivers in 3 different directions. And I don't know. Yes, there's that infinite argument that the acoustic lens is more airy and so on and so forth. But I think there's more directivity with the Beolab 28s per se when it goes to the narrow mode, which, like, the 18s are incapable of doing focused listening. One chair, no friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that these are the last speaker with the Beolab with the acoustic lens would be the 50s, and 18s are gonna go away sooner than later, in my opinion. If not 2025, then 2026, they're gonna go, because even though they sell, but I think just the way that the B&O is moving towards the Mozart platform-driven speakers, if they're gonna replace them, they're gonna replace them something with that capability in the portfolio, because it's the only speaker that, well, plus the Lab 19, that are the 2 dumb ones, more or less, that always work, unfortunately. So yeah, I think that's gonna go away. I do prefer the Lab 8s on wide mode more than the narrow, personally. From giving it a listen here and there, I find they're just too sharp in a narrow mode. But then again, you can play with the advanced settings and the Beosonic wheel and so on and so forth to kind of bring them down to something that is attainable or tunable. I don't know what's. So if you buy custom, how long will you reasonably wait for an order? 4 to 6 weeks, 6 to 12, 12 to 18, 18 weeks, and however long it takes. I guess that's really an open can of worms questions, because it depends on what you get.
Yeah, but it also depends on what you want, right? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if you decide, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the 50s with like Santos Palisander wood or whatever, right? And they're gonna have to source it out somewhere from Brazil, or I don't know where to get that even.
Sure,
Or
but that's not really in the current portfolio of the custom build it
fair enough.
thing.
Yeah, I guess from the ready-made or ready available samples. Yeah, how long? I
I mean,
think
who was it that said
six
they
to
wanted
12
a
weeks.
cranberry red Bio Remote 1 and the waiting period was what, 6 months, 7 months? It's like, yeah, that's too long.
Yeah, for a
At
remote, and
least to
then you end up
me. Because you have everything, right? Like,
dropping it, and you end up dropping it on a tile floor, and it's over. Oh boy.
I mean, I'd be willing to wait up to 3 months. That's not that much of an issue. But
No,
for
no,
most
half a
of
year
the,
is too long.
but yeah, but from especially if it's just essentially a color change, right? Like, what are we doing here? Look, I understand
I
if you
honestly,
say like I want the sides of my Beolab 50s to be carved out of I don't know olive branch wood or something.
mm.
Yeah, sure, then you go into redesigning whole bits, right? But
But are you really? Like based on the videos, how they make those lamellae for the theater, let's say, it's all machines. Like it's just lots of wood, and then they cut the grooves one way, the other way, cut the things, the clips.
oh
Yes,
no,
I'm sure there's
I
a dozen steps into it, but it's at the end of the day, it's just a slab of wood that they process.
no, I more meant like if you want to redo like those gold 90s, right, and mimic it with your 50s, and have just this middle bit in your 50 aluminium shell be wood like it is on those gold 90s.
Oh,
Like if you want something like that, then I understand it'll take a while.
Sunday, someone should ask for a bespoke backlit BR remote one just to force them to make one. Yeah, I paid $2,000 for it. Well, we'll see. We'll see how long it's gonna be before the BR remote one goes, because from the rumors that I've heard, the company that makes the screens for the BR remote one has discontinued them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much fact and truth is on it, but if that's the case, then it's more or less B&O is going to have their arm twisted into the new production and new design of a remote control, because what are they going to do?
Yeah, yeah.
Or find somebody else to make that screen?
Unless you have so much stock that you can last for 5 years. But I doubt it. I hope that's not the case.
Mm, you never know, man. They stack this. They stock for a while, all of their stuff. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I like the bespoke idea. It definitely. It's funny because since the bespoke came in, Kareem saying that the BLF 28s are starting to move more. I haven't seen that because I haven't installed any yet, but there are orders now, not for the bespoke ones, but it's actually a pretty good idea, I guess, when it comes to the atelier, because you can tell them and show them, okay, here's the this, and you know, it's $35,000 for a pair of speakers, and when people go cross-eyed to straighten out their vision, you bring them back to the silver ones. And then it's not that bad of a kick in the nuggets, right? When
Yeah.
you know you go from 35 to 28 or 24, whatever the heck they cost now, and or black anthracite, I guess you can go with. But the only thing that I wonder, which also is a problem now in our showroom, not that it's a problem to me, it's because I suffer from a severe case of OCD, is that I had paid 40% more for my bespoke theater, and it shows up as a silver soundbar without the screen on top in my app. And by the way, that resetting the app or resetting the theater to get the icons back is bullshit.
Damn it.
Because I had done it in a client's home, and it was I just had the theater set up out of the box, software update, whatever, and I go to the speakers and it's fucked, right? It just shows nothing. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not that far. I'm gonna reset it. So I reset the factory, I reset the app, and nothing.
What's
And if you look, every single bespoke theater is more or less specced with the C panels because of the black bezel.
yeah.
They don't go with the G's.
What's this whole bit down here? Or am I totally misremembering installing my own theatre?
What?
Like, if you look at the composer thing, right? Like, there's this whole triangle thing down here.
That's attached to the stand. That doesn't change. That's where the theater actually attaches to.
But is that on mine? Because I thought it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, I have to
Yeah,
look
yeah, yeah.
again.
Yeah. It's the same on mine, bro. I can see it a little bit from the side, but it's the same. It's the exact same. It's exactly the same.
Okay. I just don't remember seeing that at all. Like this whole cubby whatever bit.
It's where you can stash your drugs.
Yeah, or your Apple TV.
Can you? No, I don't think it's deep enough, man.
Well, it looks like it in this.
No, it's not. It's not. Like you would fit it, but it would hang like quarter out. It would look a little poopy.
Well, it needs some airflow. That would be good.
No, just put it in the back of the Vesa. Let it rattle with the speakers.
Yeah, I don't have a
Vesa. That's in it already.
Just double-sided tape, like plop it down in there.
Oh no! Don't use double-sided tape, people. Jesus Christ, that's the. Oh my God. We use. I don't, but let's just quote unquote. We use the. It's a dark gray Home Depot double-sided tape. It's an all-weather tape. I call it the divorce tape because whatever you stick together, you will lose a half of that. If it's on the wall, then it comes with the drywall and the paper or stucco, whatever.
Yeah.
Or it comes with the other back cover of whatever that was stuck to. So it's really, really, really not ideal. I use 3M strips with Velcro on it. And if you put enough of them, it'll be just fine. And then it's easier to replace because either you take the Velcro off the panel that's dead, or you take the Velcro off the product that is dead. And then you just replace that side and you stick it back to what it was. Nobody saw nothing. So I'm not a biggest fan of those double-sided tapes, and they make a fucking mess, dude. Like they're uncleanable from the back of the TV. Or well, uncleanable, reasonable time uncleanable. Like it takes a freaking while.
Yeah, so, we have a bunch of that 3M that you stick on, and then you just pull, and it pulls off, and that seems to work.
And there is no stains, and it doesn't damage the wood, or it doesn't damage anything that it's stuck to.
I mean, granted, it's not been on there for years yet.
You know what, man? When I first moved to Canada in 1998, back in the day, we went to IKEA and I bought myself a desk, right? Because I obviously needed one. I was still at school. And I already had the incurable disease of wire management back then.
Yeah.
And I bought the 3M stickies with those little clips, like the cable management clips.
Mm.
And I stuck them on that entire desk and behind and route my cables for at the time it was the CRT monitors, the big fat chunky boys, and blah blah blah. And later on, years and years, I retired the table to be my in the shop when I was doing the paintball guns and I was airbrushing the camo for the weapons and such as a side business that I had years ago. And after that, I took that desk apart because, there's paint spilt on it and whatever. And I took off the 3M stickers with those little cable clips. After 21 years, no discoloration of any kind on the wood. I was very surprised. And ever since then, I use that because I know it will not damage anything that you put it on. Yes, if there's too much heat, they will go unglued. But you know what? If you put a couple more, it'll stay. So that's my 2 pennies to that. And I'm surprised that they don't offer. Yeah, they do. It looks cool, but I'm surprised that they don't offer the aluminium lamellae for the.
It's Ferrari only, or we have to pressure Tigrina Studio into making one.
If Tigrina makes it, I'm gonna get me a grill. It looks sick.
It looks 50, sick. Gopulan says, for my 50s, anthracite color is not even an option in the app. Jesus, I haven't
Well,
checked
no,
in so...
because it's... Well, why would you need an anthracite in an Atelier when it's just a regular portfolio?
Yeah, but if even the regular portfolio isn't there...
Mm.
I kind of like this navy blue. It's a nice color.
It's very interesting. Yeah, you know what? It's funny because when we got the Atelier, even the first one was just the grills and such, right? And replaced the top covers on the theater, which also sucks because if you have it done just like that, the screen comes off and the VESA mount needs to come off in order for you to remove those top plates or top fabric covers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a click-clack, but it's only one screw that holds it. So it's not a big deal, but it's definitely, you need two people to swap it. But it does make it look nice. It does make it look completely different. Now, the color choice that B&O had decided for the Atelier display, I think it's a little too brave. But at that point, it is what it is. You can do whatever you want with colors.
I mean, the beach glass is quite nice as well. I like that color.
Yeah, there's a lot of it that you can go with. How many possibilities are there? I'm sure there's a few hundred, I guess. It's combinations.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's what, like 20 aluminium colors? Then you have... What, you have like 15 wood or 12 wood colors, something like that. And then you have 25 fabric options.
Yeah, that's insane.
The one thing that's slightly odd to me, right, which is something you can do in real life, is why in this composer is this like floor cover not a separate color?
What do you mean?
Like, why can't you change this one separately from the rest of the aluminium? Like, I understand that you don't want black wings with a white body on the theater itself, right? But in real life, if you go to a dealer, you can get this plate, this fascia thing for the regular table stand in any other color as well.
Maybe it's just an oversight in the app or that little thing, which wouldn't surprise me because it's just what it is with B&O. Sometimes they half bake it.
I mean, the same way I bought my 8s, right? Like, you can buy your 8s in anthracite and then you can get wall mounts for it, but the wall mounts don't have to be anthracite. You can choose whatever color you want.
You can put gold ones if you didn't, like, it doesn't matter really,
Exactly. So you can literally mix and match. There's no reason, like in this situation, that the floor stand also has to be this honey gold or whatever it is.
Yeah, but I think at that point, like, that is more or less, like, if you are making this is more or less, in my opinion, to play with stuff and give you a general idea, and then you get your skin peeled off the back once you go to the dealer and start ordering, and then you can say, okay, well, you know what, why don't I just get a theater? I want a beach glass theater with a piano black floor stand and fabric black covers, right?
Yeah, because I have white cats and I want to see their dander.
There you go. So it's that way. I think that, like, if I look at our ordering on the website, like, this thing breaks down quite a bit more into, you can order different things and such. That's not a big deal. But on the website, I don't think they show. This is terrible. The pink. Oh my god.
Yeah, but the thing, Barbie. That's the weird thing, right? This is called red. I noticed that yesterday. This is raspberry red, and this is peach pink, and peach pink is orange.
At the loss for words.
So this is peach pink. To me, it looks way more orangey than pink. If you go to raspberry red, this looks way more pink than red.
Yeah, dude. It's weird. Yeah, I don't understand it. But then again, like I said, I think the bespoke interface is more or less to just give you a general idea of how far the rabbit hole goes down or deep, and then you can take your own shovel and dig it deeper.
Yeah, I really wonder if you go down this route, right? Like whatever, let's say you go with the raspberry red that's actually pink.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it actually, like if I put this order in, I don't know, let's say tomorrow. How long?
August, August, I would think.
I mean, by that time you need a new panel, right? But because by then the new LG screen is out.
Yeah, you know what? I actually wonder if is it does it really make that much difference to upgrade the LG panel or the screen every, I don't know, 2-3 years?
Well, no, not anymore, I don't think. But if you're spending at this point probably 35 grand on this TV, right? Why would you want last year's panel?
Yeah, no, but then again, that's whatever you wait. Like, you're not buying the LG panel with the theater right away. Like, you can order that bespoke nonsense, and then once it shows up, you can get the panel. You don't commit to it right away, in my opinion. Most of the buyers will be dead by when it bespoke arrives. This is a nice color. I like that racing green, actually, but it's very dark. Like, if you look at the theater, not the theater. Oh my god, I am making coffee to a no cup. Call this.
I've done that too.
Fuck. Oh yeah.
The thing is that drip tray is just big enough for one cup of doing that.
And exactly the just is where the fucking problem became.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
if you ever have a few drips, it'll overflow.
It did. Call this. Call this, man. Hold on. Sorry, boys. It's a fucking mess in here. My first day with the coffee maker. Oh, fuck. It's everywhere, bro. Bro. I got my bespoke coffee now. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm not turning over the camera so y'all can see me suffer here. But I'm making another coffee. Fucking one capsule down. All right, let's try this again with the cup in it. See how that works. Because mistakes are made. Mistakes are made, for God's sakes. All right, take two. Nobody saw nothing. Yeah, I've done it to myself a few times. That see, that's nice. That color. What is that? That's a cranberry red, isn't it?
Let's see.
Aurora pink? No.
This is radiant red.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Huh. In this one, they actually changed the internal tweeter ring, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, no, they do it with all of them. I didn't even actually notice that.
Yeah, the honeytone has the honeytone ring in it. Maybe that's why they got to wait for 6 months, because there's not enough rings to be anodized. Let me see. Okay. I have obtained the coffee.
Some of these oak options I really don't understand.
You know what bothers me on that? Like, we got these painted lamellas, or lamellae, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're only painted from 3 sides. They don't paint the back. So that means they have to have some sort of a jig, and it just sprays all them at once, and then some poor guy has to put them all 74 of them onto the grill and glue the first 3. Had they not been gluing the first 3, you could just do whatever. My problem is with that, if like in our case, we got our bespoke grill, and I opened the box, and one of the lamellas fell out. It was broken. So how? Yeah, right. Because that grill is $5,000 Canadian, versus $2,100 for, let's say, a walnut, which you can get spare sticks for. But yeah, that's one thing that for that amount of cash, if you buy a bespoke, they should include in the package at least 5 replacement lamella sticks.
I almost don't understand why I don't get it with every cover, right?
Well, the oak, walnut, and smoked oak and dark oak I can understand because that's a regular product. You can order that box. Like I've made Kareem order the smoked oak and the oak ones because at the beginning of the theater when it first released, the covers were just atrocity. Like you open it and shit falls off both sides, right? So you have to replace them. And I really wish I could get my hands on that black glue that B&O uses. Because if you re-glue the lamellae back onto the plastic grill with Gorilla Super Glue or whatever, it oxidizes the plastic over time. And you get this white shit around the lamella. That's what I had unfortunately discovered.
Maybe they don't use glue as such, but a type of caulk.
Well, I don't know what they're using, but to me it looks the same as the glue that they attach the pegs on the Lab 90 wall, the plates.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same glue that is in that has been gluing the Avant glass to the substrate. Same thing for the BB7. They've used that black glue paste since the dawn of time that I remember. But I wish that there was something that you can actually just order a little bit for touch-ups or whatnot, or at least if there was somewhere on the ROS that specifies what glue to buy or look for. But
So according to the
bowl's
poll,
over.
yeah, if most people start to drop off if it takes more than 12 weeks.
To 18, yeah.
12 to 18 is too long already for most people.
Who's the super patient with 18 weeks, bro? God, that's a lot.
I mean, maybe they want something super duper custom, right?
Well, yeah. If you want your top covers made of Tureen cloth or some shit, then yes, 18 weeks would be acceptable.
As in, literally, like I pay B&O to use the Shroud of Turin. I want that as my speaker cloth for those heavenly sounds, man.
Oh God, that's the one for Steve because it'll definitely sound heavenly then. But yeah, it's the shits. I also see a lot of chatter in the Discord. People are not that they're upset, but they're definitely not happy with the fact that the core cannot output to the subwoofer once it's connected into the shape. That's a great limitation, in my opinion.
Yeah, also that you with a new BeoConnect core that you can't use your shape as a rear speaker anymore for some reason.
I think they honestly they take 2 steps back on that versus the old core. The one that is ahead as far as the steps are concerned, yes, it is much improved in sound quality. It's much punchier, much cleaner. The mids and trebles are crisp. However, if you had a subwoofer attached to that before, you will never get that sound again, which is sad. And
yeah,
you put a 19,
not. It's been out for
to the shape. Fuck.
It's been out for a long enough time that it's like, why the hell hasn't this been updated yet?
I think they'll update it a month before they discontinue the core, just like any other product. When it's working properly, they just move on to something else.
But this is what makes it so frustrating, right? Because you'll go into a dealership potentially to buy a shape, and you'll ask a dealer, can you do this? And then it's totally upon the dealer to actually also know that he has to supply you with something that he didn't show you because you're not showing the old core anymore.
We don't have any more old cores in stock. I think we have one. And to me, I personally wouldn't sell one, the last core. I would not sell it because if you have clients that need to do a factory reset on a shape amplifier, you're out to lunch with a new core. You cannot do that.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that bother me about that. With the old core, all the BO4 commands would work until you plug in the USB to tie it into the Beosound shape amplifier. Then it just reverts to the Beo Remote 1 IR standard. So your Beo time, or my Beo time in that sense, is useless because it can't control the volume of the shape nor turn on the sources. But it still takes the light command. So I can still trigger my morning and whatever blah blah blahs. It's not a big deal because it's all packed up in a box. But there is no way to do that with the new shape or the new core.
I mean, KCDBR says B&O is a small company. They cannot do everything that makes sense. But the thing is, it made sense in the previous iteration of the product in this case.
Yeah, I don't think KCBR got much to stand on with that because they literally just deleted. There is no reason why that should have been deleted.
Look, I
There's no
agree
reason.
they're a small company and it can't do everything at once. Like, there's no argument there, right? But, like, normally a new product is an iteration on something else, unless it's a revolutionary product. But we haven't really had that in, I don't know, since BLab 90s, I guess.
For me, I wonder what the logic behind disabling that is, because if the Mozart is the processor that's, I guess, now utilized maybe to 50% or 60%, or maybe with the DPL we're up to 75 with it, right? Depends on what product it's installed in or what product it's the way it's utilized, because it's the same chip throughout the whole platform, just the abilities are different to each product. But I don't understand why the core would not be able to utilize the power link output. It's an analog output, for the love of God. At the end of the day, the COM port is an analog output with a different pin out and a little bit of, I guess, the little different data pins are used. And I know that because only the left channel will work if you plug it in accidentally instead of a power link. The other channel is on a different pin, which is not on the power link pin. So I don't get why that cannot, like, it's on the same board, for the love of God. Why can they not do that?
I mean, yes, you get better sound, but like you go back in functionality for something new, it's kind of strange. I still
Yes.
like the core, like you gain the functionality of HDMI eARC, I guess, but
Yes.
I mean, if there
Yeah,
was a
but what's
like,
the ER good for? What's the ER good for if you're using it in the shape, man? There isn't.
yeah, unless you want to shape as your TV speaker, I guess, but
Interesting.
I mean, I have seen people do that.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that too. It's just left and right, 6 styles on each side of the TV. It sounds great. Don't get me wrong, but I think that they've taken a step backwards on that. It should be reintroduced in the software, and there has been a software or a request for change, rather, to word it correctly, in our B&O internal system, and it's been sitting there for a while, and it's still being worked on, I guess.
If not, look, if this was a known thing, right? I would at least expect the core to be able to be DPL paired, because that would fix it for most people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you have a theater.
Yes. I
But
don't understand why the DPL is disabled on the core, because it did work. It did work before in one of the beta updates. Because I had it accidentally, like I paired the BioLab 8s to this. I'm like, okay, so this works, and then the beta went off or whatever, because the guy wasn't even on the beta. It just turns out that it was available to him somehow, but then it disappeared. I forget what the version of the for something was, the software.
I have a feeling that that's sort of product segmentation to like keep people with theaters. Because technically you could already attach 4 speakers then at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have 2 on DPL and 2 on PowerLink.
Yes.
And that will be plenty for most people.
Yeah, maybe it's not stable enough, as KCBR saying. I would almost agree with that. The DPL, depends really where you are. Like if you do a DPL in a house that is in the middle of nowhere, you won't have any interference. But DPL, I think, is a very dangerous game to play in apartment units where you see 30, 40 networks around you. Even WISA has issues at some point with that. So
Seems like I'm gonna get rain. Yes.
rain.
It's been so hot here. Like yesterday was like
You know, it's
26,
crazy if you look at
27 degrees.
if you look at the window, look how much snow is on the window, man. And I am like, this is a vertical building, and there's 6 inches on the ledge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've had
it's
like 25, 26, 27 degrees weather here, Celsius.
yeah, I know. I was looking on I have Florida on Halo, so I can see what.
I mean, it's shorts and t-shirts again.
No, not here. Oh, you can do the shorts and t-shirt, but I don't think you'd make it a half a block before dying.
Well, then I
Yeah,
guess
and the
you're not
winds are
Canadian.
insane, man. Oh no, the winds are like 60 kilometers an hour here now, so it's gonna be interesting. I just hope to Christ that I don't have to drive somewhere out of town or whatever, because that's gonna be a lot of laughs. What color is the black anthracite?
Pearl blasted.
Pearl blasted.
I mean, even the natural aluminium, when you just pearl blast, you get that silk and it's almost white. And I really kind of like that.
Yes. That's as close as you can get to the white. I wonder if they're ever going to discover or invent anodizing particles that are small enough in white color to fit in the pores of the aluminium. Because right now that's the limitation.
I have a feeling you're gonna have to do something really weirdly tricky where like it's not actually white, but the outcome looks white to the human eye.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like where instead of actually making it white, you probably have to anodize it in a way that refracts light in a way that it doesn't absorb anything, therefore making it appear white when it's not actually white.
Ah, but that's as close as you got with that is the Pearl Blast right now.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the reason for that is just that you have so many like prisms, essentially, and edges and stuff that reflects. Therefore, it looks white.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they can find a finer pearl, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like you pearl blast bare aluminium, anodize it clear, pearl blast that again, then anodize it clear again.
I'm sure that they had been through this a few times over, trying to get it going.
I really like the ceiling bracket, by the way.
The only problem that I have with the ceiling bracket that it kind of sort of shows the cable.
This little bitty.
Yeah, because the cable has to go to the bottom, right? So,
Yeah.
and you can't do it through the pipe, so it has to go either side, straddling the speaker post from that hole that it comes out of.
So it comes here and either goes up through here or...
That's it.
Well, if you're on WISE or DPL, I wouldn't mind so much. It's just one cable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they are an absolute pleasure to install. I had done a ceiling bracket a few months back, I guess now, and it was the first. Those were the first ceiling brackets in Montreal. I guess not in Montreal because it's a little bit out of town, but I was very impressed by the design of it. Like it's finally gotten to the point, and it goes to a show. I guess the big credit goes to the Noto design. Is that they are actually considering the installation of the product, not just the final look. Where, if you guys remember BeoLab 3s on the wall brackets, if you didn't have the wall socket cover, it was literally what 2 centimeter long, wide strip that you have to feed the DIN and the wire for power through.
Mm-hmm.
And you do a little mistake, man, and it shows. So this can forgive you quite a bit. Plus, there's enough room inside the top plate that you can spool up the excess wire. I usually tend to trim it down because there's no point to have a 3-meter cable spooled up inside the back of the thing. It
What I
just
also
makes no
like is
sense.
that the wishbone bracket has enough give in it that if whatever you need to attach like a ceiling bracket or wall bracket to, if it isn't exactly level, you can still have like 2-3 mil to scoot it either way and have the speaker be fully level.
Yes, yeah, no, there's enough playroom with it. So I do like the brackets. Obviously it's impossible for me to do it here in the ceiling because A, I don't own the place. B, I'm not gonna be coring into the concrete. I
Yeah.
would just put them on the paper wall and that's the end of it. But they are fabulous. The Bondi blue is brutal. I don't
Yeah,
like that color. No, that's take it off the portfolio.
some of these, God, for all you Brits out there, you probably know the quote unquote model. What's her name? Jordan, I think.
Mm.
The ugly lass with the enormously fake boobs that has like a similarly colored pink Range Rover, I think. Half of these colors are for people like her.
You know what? When I used to work at Audi, we had a couple Chinese people that came in and they wanted to order like a purple Q7 and whatnot. And you gotta just talk sense into the people sometimes because if you buy that, there's no way. Like you're gonna die with or in that car, but you're not reselling it. Because who's
No.
gonna buy that? There's few, but if they're gonna buy it, they're gonna lowball you to hell to get it.
Yeah.
So I don't. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. My phone is going off somewhere. I don't know where it is. Oh, well, one of those mysteries. But yeah, I I'm a silver guy, bro. I'll die silver with B&O. I like it. It's timeless. Everything from back in the yesteryears works with it. So, if you stick a Beocenter 2 for some unknown reason into your mix, it's not going to look awkward with all of your, honey-tone gold nonsense. But yeah, I like the fact that they've gone with something that you can actually change your colors. Yes, it's cost premium, but it's like with everything.
I really like this navy blue. It's 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 a sort of, I bet you this looks almost black in low light.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And then again, these are renderings. So I would say this is like at least 5 shades darker in real life. Because the way I guess this is rendered is with what, like a 50,000 lumen flashlight or lights going at it, right? So
Yeah.
it just shows it's almost transparent for God's sakes how much light is on it. But that's not how the real life works. It's funny how many people complain about the floor stands on the Lab 8s that are too tall. And the entire lifetime that I've been involved with B&O, it was, the floor stands are too short. So they finally made the taller one, and now everybody's bitching again.
Yeah, but you can cut them down.
I know, but a lot of people don't do that.
What I personally don't like is how it looks like this. It looks weird.
Yeah.
Uh, Even if you were to have the wishbone thing like this, I wish they would have taken the pole and bent it with the speaker and then went straight down into the middle of the plate.
That would look like a fucked up umbrella stand, man.
But now it sort of looks like a cleaved pill that's hanging on by a thread. Like it's like half I don't know, blood pressure pill or something hanging on the pole.
Yeah, the floor stands are what they are. I personally like them the most on the wall and table. They look the sickest. So
I mean, I think the height is fine. If your couch is in front of it, I like no problem really.
No,
Like
no.
I'm not bothered. But if this is your front speaker, right? Like I would rather have any of the other solutions.
If I'd use them as a front speakers, I would probably cut them down so the center of the Beolab 8 is at the center of my 65-inch panel.
Yeah, I guess I would just either have a wall bracket or a table stand and put them on something else.
Because if you were to cut them down low enough to match the theater height itself before the screen comes up, right, then they're too bloody low. Might as well just put them on the floor on table stands and tilt them upwards.
I mean, I think if I were to get these, either I would have like cabinets and put these in a cabinet or something, or like just get the theater on the table stand itself and have these somewhere on furniture. Because
yeah,
I mean
put it on
the floor stand is fine if it's behind the couch. That works for me, but like I don't really like the visual of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that cabinet insert you did, what, 3-4 months ago? I would have it something like that. I don't know. If this was going to be my front speaker, I would probably switch to 18s just because they're aesthetically more pleasing to have on the floor to look at.
I hate to say it, but I would probably go with the 28s because the lamellas match better. I know. Because 18s have round lamellas. Everything now has a square profile on the top, on a flat profile on the lamellas. So
yeah.
And I've had them 18s with the sides. Like on my old apartment, I put the 18s to the front because I took the 28s home for the Christmas, and I ended up putting the 28s to the front because I didn't like the look of the 18s. But yeah, 18s are a great speaker, but I think they're not going to be with us for much longer.
I mean, if you own your place, I would even potentially think of having the ceiling bracket as 8 front, left, and right.
I might as well just take them heights then.
Yeah, well, if you're buying, I don't know, 8, what is it, 4 pair? Sure. I mean, it's
yeah.
I mean, let's see. I'm actually thinking now, like, what does that come out to, speakers, in terms of cost? Yeah. No, I don't want. I don't want to do that again. Back off. So let's say so that's what, 15,600. So you can have 4 sets of 8s or
one bespoke.
or 2 sets of 28s. Actually, you can have 4 sets of 8s and have $6,000 left over for a theater, or have 2 sets of 28s without a theater.
Fudge.
Gosh, Beolab 50 starting at 65,000 USD. Holy moly. And the 50 Ferrari edition from 95,000 USD. We've lost our damn minds.
Dude, I think we have a guy on the hook in Toronto, I believe, that's buying the Ferrari edition. I hope he does, because I really want to go and do an install and see him.
God damn.
Those would be canon.
Look, I love all these speakers, but these prices are insane.
But are they? If you're first time seeing it, and that's essentially my theory, that they're banking on the fact that to a new client, it's really not that much because they haven't seen what this was 8 years ago for pricing. But for all our viewers and people that sit on this B&O nonsense all day long in their free time, and you monitor this, then yeah, it's more or less like you're watching your speakers grow like a Bitcoin, for God's sakes. So
Yeah.
the only thing, like I said, I hope that, I think with the atelier, I think they should do it in the same fashion that they do it with the shape, where you compose yours. It should give you a code, right? Like in the shape code that you have the whatever the heck it's called, and then you just add that to your, like, it's, you either go through there should be two tabs, portfolio or atelier, right? You choose atelier, and then then it'll tell you to add your design code. You put the design code and it pulls that profile, because you are able to save these profiles on your B&O account if you create one, right? So therefore it should be able to pull this back from the server and give you that picture in the app.
Jesus God. Like with the aluminium grill, which is at least $3,000, like Sunday Panay speakers are like 70K now. USD. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Aren't you glad you bought them when you did?
Yeah, but I'm also like kind of shocked where we're at with pricing.
Oh, dude, the price is that they've lost their damn mind 2 years ago on that, let alone the fact that where we're at now. This is just, it's a straight jacket pricing is what that is.
I mean, if this is like a real life sort of example of where prices actually are, right? Like my house should be over $4 million pretty soon. And it's just a regular house. Like, yeah, that can't be. Like, we're not in Canada. It's not like real estate is that insane. Eh?
I'll never own a house in this country, I tell you that.
Yeah, what is it? The median house price there is like 800 grand Canadian or something?
It will take an average Canadian 29 years of labor force work to save up for a down payment on the house at this current situation.
Jesus
Not
Christ.
pay off the mortgage, just to afford the fucking down payment. So if you do this at 20, by the time you're 49, 50 years old, you can put the down payment down, and then you're paying the mortgage till you're 75 years old.
Yeah,
at what point do you stop working?
Have any disaster in the meantime either.
Exactly. So no, here it's unaffordable, and I can't wait to get the hell out of here because it's
Lord says my B&O's now is the same price as my house. Yeah, I'm not far behind you. It's also right? Because I don't have 90s. It's insane. It's actually like last year, but it'll probably be again. We'll have to readjust our insurance, and it's actually going to be problematic, right? Because the insurance people are going to are just simply straight up not going to believe, like, how the hell is the shit in your house almost as valuable as your house, right? Like, how is that? Like, how does that work?
But that's an illogical argument from an insurance, in my opinion, because what if you're a watch collector, right? And let's say you bought a couple Patek Philippe's, you bought the Nautilus, which is what, $300,000 right now for a fucking white gold and whatever. So if you have, let's say, 10, 15 watches in your collection, it's already more than your house. And it's a box that you can run off with.
Yeah, but what sort of house do you live in? Because the people that live in those or buy that sort of thing usually live in like apartments in New York and that sort of place.
No, I think the only argument that they would have with you is how the fuck is your equipment not depreciating but appreciating?
Yeah. Oh, that's partially it. Also, the value, right? Like, because they want an itemized list, and like, yeah, the list is the same except it's just more now, and they go, what?
Except the numbers are changing. Yeah.
Upwardly.
Yeah. Well, here when I was getting my insurance, obviously what they were asking, They were more concerned about high value wine cellar than anything else in Quebec.
Yeah, partially because the culture, right? But also because you can carry these things.
Well, yeah, but if your shit goes sideways and the house burns down and you have a, wine cellar that you've been collecting stuff for 20 years
Yeah,
in it,
exactly. But you can have a bottle of wine that's 10 grand easily.
oh,
I
100%.
mean, sometimes you just have to lay it down and not do nothing, and then all of a sudden it's 10 grand. It's
Hmm.
speculation, like the stock market, the wine business.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, for my 50s, I think I've only insured them essentially to replace them for like theft and fire damage, and like when they're completely gone, right?
Hmm.
Because it's theft is really unlikely because they're too heavy to carry.
Yeah.
So it's more like if the place burns down, I want all my shit back, and I don't want like your daily value nonsense.
Yeah, it's the same here with the 90s. If the flood and fire, man, it's theft. Fuck it. Like, good luck if you can take him out. There's nowhere to grab him. Even like people wouldn't know how to deal with those speakers. Even so, that's A. B. Yeah, if there's a flood, I'm fucked. If there's a fire, I'm fucked because there's no way I can move them. What am I gonna take the crowns off and save the cloth for what? You know,
Yeah.
it's over.
I actually want to pull this. Would you ever get BL8 with only a brick cover? That's pretty much a simple yes or no. Because I'm just messing around here on this composer thing still.
Hmm.
And I never ever like I have fabric covers, right? But it's just in case I ever want to switch, and it was the bare minimum. But I don't actually gravitate towards them. Like I almost think this speaker is almost mandated to come with like one of the oak or wood options on the front. It looks a bit strange with like just a gray melange front.
I personally, my beef with the fabric is that that grill should have been compensated for the offset that the lamellae provide when you put it on, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of matches the back of it because the back is also recessed as far as the plastic if you rotate that around.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, yeah. But when the hell do you see the back of your speaker, especially if they're on the wall or whatnot? So even with that, I would still prefer the wood grills, man. They just it's you're already so much money into it. You might as well just cut the other wrist and bleed the fucking grills out too, and just make him look nice.
I knew Sandeep's answer. He doesn't like gaps.
That's it.
He doesn't like skinny models, right? With that leg gap. Like they need to touch. He likes them thick with two C's.
Yeah, but yeah, the fabric cover is fine. I just wonder. David says if they had the wool cover, like obviously that would probably change the sound profile of the speaker. And since there's those magnets in the grills that auto detect or tell the speaker what magnets there are or what grills in front of it, then I guess they would be exhausting that on a thicker fabric cover, right? Because you have
Mm-hmm.
wood. Because wood and metal slats, I think that they have the same acoustic properties when it comes to the dispersion of the sound through the grills. You would have the gray melange and all the soft fabric, as I would call it, and then if you do a thick sweater wool, then I think that would have to have a different magnet, I guess, trigger on it, so the speaker knows that you need to up the mid range and the tweeters and the highs a little bit. because it'll eat it, right? Playing through the sweater. That's terrible color, the purple, no way.
Yeah, again, the beach glass is quite nice.
Mm.
Let's see, beach glass and beechwood. That works.
The beach glass would look awesome in a house somewhere close to the beach, because that beach glass is it's almost like the Hawaiian shores, right? Like the beautiful blue water.
Mm-hmm.
That almost matches with it. So, but yeah, I don't think the beach glass would look good in Canadian winter.
Yes, you get depressed by looking outside the window.
You need freaking bonfire orange on your 50s and 8s, man. Make him look hot. Because otherwise, it's the shits. I like it. I like that composer thing, man. You can spend a whole day spinning around the B&O product and making different colors off of it.
Is the quote unquote gap big enough between charcoal stained oak and black painted oak? Here, I'll zoom in all the way as far as I can. This is currently black painted oak, so give it a second. I just switched to charcoal stained oak.
Okay, what changed?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
That's almost the same argument as light oak and oak, for God's sakes. I can't tell the difference.
I mean, I guess the black painted is ever so slightly lighter, it seems, in this composer thing. But we're talking like just how the light hits it, almost kind of difference.
I think a lot of that has to do with seeing it in real life.
Yeah.
And then again, you're getting to the samples.
The 50s need to get onto the composer thing. They're not here yet. The harmony will come as well, I think.
It's coming. Let's see. There was an announcement about that, and I think it's in March. It's going to be on news, and tell you. Because theater is there already, and it's supposed to be. It was supposed to be later. By the end of February, BeoLab 50 and Beosound Theater will be added to the Digital Composer. Users will also be able to book a demo through Digital Composer, as well as download their design in PDF, share the design, and view it in augmented reality. Translation in 9 languages will also be live on the platform. In-store displays will be delivered to all stores who sign up in 2024. By the end of March, BeoLab 90 will be added to the Digital Composer, and recommend user pricing will be added to all composed products. Users will also be able to save their designs into their B&O account. More updates are also in the works, including updated experience in the B&O app and a new tray to improve the sample box experience in the store. Details will be shared in the B&Os in due course.
Sweet. It would be nice if you can just recreate what you have, save it as a JPEG, and have that be your product picture.
Well, I think that's where they're going with it, quite honestly.
We can't be bothered to make all these things. You do make your own.
Well, but in the same token, like if they're doing the AR, which means that it's saved somewhere, that profile, that color combo information is saved somewhere in their server. And now it's just the question of linking it together correctly so it shows in the app. That's a freaking nice color, the old olive green, bro. That's like, that's a general should have that in his office.
Yeah, I actually don't mind this sort of olive green. I just wish they had olive wood to go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, one of my favorite species of wood is olive wood. It's a very interesting looking species of wood.
But yeah, a lot of this stuff will look nicer in real life, which is
obviously
the given detriment of having renderings, right? It's the same thing. Like if you look at cars nowadays online, none of this stuff is real. It's all rendered. So it's
not just that, like with the render, right? Like even if you have it let's say, accurate to the real life color spectrum,
Yes,
you're now dealing with people on the other side looking through monitors that are not color accurate.
that's right.
If you, what
Click see in more detail button. Let's do that.
is that? This?
Will we ever get cedar? I think you could request for it at this point, man. It'll probably another 6 to 8 weeks longer, and because they have to go chop it down. But
Well, that's another wood species that they know about but don't think about, but that's so common in the Northeast and Midwest of the US, right? Like cedar is on a lot of things.
yeah, but why would you want cedar, man? What are you gonna put this in a humidor somewhere?
No,
Like,
but people like it as an aesthetic thing. Like some people have their whole house cladded with cedar shingles or the cedar.
yeah,
Like it's not an unpleasant wood.
no, and it smells nice.
Yeah. I mean, I would prefer to have cedar in the option list over pine. Like, come on, what the fuck? Pine?
That's what the pallets are made out of, right?
Yeah, exactly. Pine is such a cheap wood. Like, why would you have that?
And it's gonna be like $700 per grill at least. Oh yeah, more than that.
I mean, sure, if it was old pine, but that's almost non existent anymore.
What are we looking at?
The navy blue special color, and then you go view finish in detail. Deep as midnight surf, classic as they come. This timeless hue doesn't shout, but it whispers sophistication.
As again, somebody should just put down the latte when they're making out the names. Their soy milk latte.
What is bitter orange? What did they say about that? A burst of tangy citrus, a twist of golden dawn. We love its amber glow with neutral fabrics and pale birch. Okay.
Fuck.
What did they say about this Bondi blue? Because that's aimed at you Aussies. Because that's where Bondi is. So
The AI spiel color descriptions, Dave says.
shallow waters over a sun-drenched reef. That's the vision behind this bright hue that we love with other cool shades. Okay. I'm not sure if these.
Oh, the videos are definitely renders, man. There's no reflection of. They got like artificial windows and stuff in it, but I don't know. It's definitely different.
Raspberry red, and then they go this pink red hue. Yeah, it's pink. Was designed to pop like fruit against green leaves. We love it with black fabric and pale wood. Okay, but it's pink. It's not red.
Well, Danish raspberries are probably this color then. I don't know.
And this peach pink is orange. So let's see what they say about that. Peach pink blooms with color of spring. So fresh, so delicate, and a full mix and match ease. And full of mix and okay. It's a nice color, but I wouldn't call it pink. This is orange.
What I think B&O should make for me is a bespoke snow shovel at this point of time.
What color do you want it anodized?
Probably I'll go with the red one. I'd go with the red and anthracite handle.
Do you want a chestnut brown?
No, because then you lose it in the dirt.
Polished wood, freshly ground coffee, and autumn leaves. This rich hue is as much a mood as a color. Yeah, it's the 1970s all over again. Fucking brown.
Speaking of 70s, bro, I highly recommend. Yesterday we opened a can of worms with my girlfriend, and it was way too late for it. Uh, I think we started watching Netflix Cassandra. Look up Cassandra. It's a German show. It's 8 episodes.
Hmm.
We burned through it until fucking 3 in the morning. See, and it is a home automation house that was like a smart home from the 70s, and it's a robot that basically is the wife of the guy that the inventor, and
Hmm.
he uploaded her consciousness into the server of the house, and
Oh
she
God.
goes fucking nuts, man. It is such a good show. It's such a good show.
So it's sort of a show of like an on Earth based space oddity.
Pretty much. But it was very, very good. Very, very good. The end, but the my God, it was, yeah, we could not stop watching it. It was pretty slick. And I hate Netflix for that, because they end the episodes like fuck, one more, right? And then you
Yeah.
one more, and then you look at the clock and it's 3 in the goddamn morning, and yeah, I would get a B&O shovel like that.
Long lasting impressions?
That's it.
This
Oh,
fire.
it's definitely
But
gonna
the
leave a
question.
long lasting impression if you whack somebody with it.
But the thing is, it's a question mark. Long lasting impressions?
Oui.
This fiery hue draws the eye and holds it tight, especially in the company of dark wood and fabric. So I guess
I like that red, man. I really do like the red.
yeah, but according to them, it's apparently a questionable color. Like, why is there a question mark? Why is it not? Why is it not like an exclamation mark? Why isn't it a question mark?
Because is it? There you go, KCBR. Willie's hair color, a sophisticated blend of cool toned silver and soft pewter shimmering with natural highlights that capture the light like moonbeams in the calm night. I am going to describe my hair color like that on my ID. It's going to be like turn over for description, basically. Oh, God. And then I have to have 2 IDs because I need to have my eye color described also. That's too funny. This color reminds me of a very crappy soft drink from Slovakia. Pineapple yellow. That to me almost looks like the gold Biocom 2 color.
Yeah, but apparently it's a pineapple yellow.
Is right.
Yeah, I like the olive green. It's a really nice color.
Do you think that B&O will at some point mow the lawn for Tegrino and start releasing their aluminium grills in that fashion? Or they're just going to be like, leave it like, it's the same as, STB took some of it and then let them guys take some of it.
Look, I don't think B&O wants to do any of that. They, I think, on a very base level, hate when anybody does anything to their designs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe hate is too strong a word, but in essence, they probably don't agree with going third party. I don't know what for, because like you make everybody richer, the better it goes, right? Like that's partially why I think we like supporting third party brands, because it's already a small company, and if you
But
want
it's their own fault, in my opinion, because why not make them out of aluminium? You're telling me you don't have the capability to make the grills, but you make these machined miracles out of aluminium, but you can make, what is it, 18 sticks curved?
Well, that's another thing, right? Like if you make one, if B&O makes one, are they going to do it like the theater where it's aluminium that's screwed into a plastic backing? because Tigrino doesn't do that. It's one chunk of aluminium where literally everything, including the pegs, is out of one chunk CNC.
Solid, yeah, it's solid block of metal. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like it took them what 2-3 years to come out with the aluminium grill for the 50s when they showed it off pre-launch. So could they? Yes. Is it going to be one of these B&O things where it's a la theater, like a la this, where you just replace the wood with something aluminium, but that means it's either glued or screwed into the piece of plastic on the back? In which case,
I would think so.
They're probably also going to charge you up the wall for it. And
it's going to be way more than Tigrino's. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Way more than Tigrino's. I would say double the price for sure. I don't know. I don't. I wish they did. Obviously, they can because they've done it for the Ferrari. And I think the grill would look awesome in silver polished aluminum on my theater with everything in there. Even if it was maybe like brushed aluminum, so it's a closer match to the 90s crowns. Even though I would say the 90s crowns are definitely mirror polished, but it's such a narrow profile that you can't really see it unless you put your finger directly to the metal and then you can see the reflection exactly. But yes, I would. I'm in for the aluminium grill for my theater. So Tigrino, if you guys are watching, I don't know what time is it in China, but please do that.
They're headquartered in Germany, so
it's, well, there you go, Tigrino. Come on.
It's almost 10 there though. Tomorrow's a work day, so maybe. But if you watch it tomorrow, take it already. Come on.
Please. Put me on the list, man. beowilly@gmail.com. Just send me a bill when it's ready to go. Quite honestly. Because I do want it. I do want that grill. I wonder if they're going to do atelier for the headphones too later on in life.
Probably.
Like for the H100s.
But the waiting time for that is already 6 months.
Yeah.
So if you want another color, it's like you can pay now, but you'll have them in a year.
At least you lock the price increases down. So no, Tigrino needs to make that. They need to make this for sure. I thought about toying with the idea, but I don't want to spend the money. We'll see once the bespoke Lab 90s come online, because I would consider buying aluminium panels, polished aluminium panels to match the theater.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's too brave or too crazy or too bougie or too shiny. I don't know, but I think it would be, well, they definitely would take on the floor, so they would look like the floor off the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do I want to do that, or do I just go and dig up my oak covers that I have in the back?
Yeah, there's so many ways you can go with that.
Oh man, it's unbelievable.
I mean, you could get like what you call it, like a 6-foot roll of that 3M wrap, just to have an idea, and wrap like 2 covers, because 3M has the even aluminium colors and stuff that you can wrap stuff in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it put it on, and it looks like aluminium. It looks like chrome if you want the chrome one. I mean, it does, like, or I should say, it looks if you're more than like 2 feet away. Like if you're like this, right, you can tell, obviously.
Well, yeah, but from here on where I'm sitting, and I'll never.
But it's more like to check, like, do I actually want this?
So yeah, because once you commit, you get two boxes of the panels for like $6,000 or whatever that would cost, most likely. Then yeah, it feels bad if it doesn't look good. I don't think it wouldn't look bad at all. I think it would look crazy. But I do love the grills, man. The aluminium just I'm a sucker for the shiny metal, man. It's just ridiculous.
Same.
It looks so good.
I mean, it's still crazy to me that it's literally one piece.
Hmm.
I mean, there's so much time in that.
Wow, fudge! You just put it in a CNC. As long as you got enough coolant liquid, you just let it run. Is that a Bose speaker behind this? Call this. Or a Sonos? No, it's a Bose.
Yeah.
What a disgrace.
I think this is where they found out that you need their tool, their little removal tool, because you see the little pitties from the original V&O tool on the absolute edge here.
I have never had that issue, bro. That's not from the B&O's tool.
It lines up absolutely perfectly with.
Of course it does, but if they use the Swiss Army knife for a screwdriver, that it had to have been metal. There's no way. There's no way that I've used that pila for years now, man. I have a fucking drawer full of them just in case because they do break. I've taken off countless grills off of the theater, off of the eights, off of, man, like I've stuck this thing into a whole bunch of shit that aluminium never gotten damaged from. So I don't buy that. I
have a feeling that with, if you're not careful enough, it lines up perfectly with where those indents are on this tool, and that is actually what's causing the damage, because you have these like semi circles cut out, right? And
yeah,
that creates another corner on something that already has a corner, and then if you push it in, it's sort of exactly there where you're applying the pressure.
Dude, like I said, I've removed the grills only with that tool in the shop. Never had a damage of any kind, ever. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that they had used that peeler. They had provided what you have in your hands or had in your hands is the automotive panel remover.
Yeah, but this has no hard edges. Like just holding it, right? Like the if it's the automotive or whatever, the one Tigrino gives you with it, it has no hard edge on it anywhere. Whereas the B&O one has several sharper edges.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I still don't buy
it. I'm not saying the B&O one is necessarily problematic, right? But if you do it more often and have to do it quick, or have to do it more than, I don't know, 6 times, there is a bigger chance of because you sort of have to pry it over the side edge of the aluminium on the BeoLab 8s, because that is exactly where the sort of leverage position is.
Yeah, but I don't.
I mean, I was slightly aware of it, so when I ever used the B&O one, I put my finger in between it, so I'm leveraging over my finger instead of over the aluminium.
Yes. Yeah.
And then, like, it's fine, right? You just put your finger next to the edge, and like you cantilever over your finger instead of over the aluminium.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know. I don't know if I'm different, but I use it every single day. I always carry 2 of them in my pocket. I don't leave the house without the peeler. I always have them. I use them for everything, man.
I don't think I've ever used that cover removal tool on my theater.
No, I do, because I've seen the guys, especially when they're doing demos and they quickly want to swap the grills and they try to yank by the lamellas and oh no, poof, crack, done. It stays in your hand.
No, I always like I literally grab it over top and bottom by the plastic and like pull it straight back. And I don't think I've ever used that removal tool.
You got your fucking King Kong hands though. I don't have a grip like that, so I still use the tool, and yeah, I never had an issue with it. Speaking of which, I'm probably going to pull the grill off tonight as we after the podcast, because I want to retune the speakers. I want to I'm going to make a kitchen position without the 90s turning on, because it makes no sense to me to have the 90s powered up for my YouTube videos.
No.
It's a disgrace. But
yeah, I probably have to do it as well. Like, it's funny, there was a conversation going on the Discord like last week where people were saying like depending on something they couldn't put their finger on, you would get quite different bass results with tuning, even if you didn't move the microphone at all.
I
And
could attest to that because the first time that I had tuned the speakers, the bass was just over the top, and I put the microphone in the exact same spot. The only thing that changed was the carpet, and now there is more or less no bass. Not that I complain, because I don't want to be woofing too much to the next door neighbor, because I already met them once, and don't want to make it a routine visit every Friday.
yeah,
But they need to get just a little sprinkle more.
yeah. I wonder if there's like any. Surely Beano must have some data on that. Like what's going on there. Like how could you run it twice and have quite different audio outcomes? I mean, it could be 1,001 different things. Obviously, I understand that. It could be everything from a low background hum that it's picking up that you can't hear, but it hears. Like
Yeah, well, usually when I tune, I make sure that there is nothing going on, like, because we have, for some reason, a generator turns on out front of my apartment underneath me, and you can hear that diesel rumble or diesel. It's gas powered, but it still rumbles, right?
Yeah.
And air conditioning does make a big difference. We actually, Etienne sold a set of 50s, well, a month ago, but we installed them. They installed them while I was in Calgary. And the way that the installation went and blah blah blah, they had burned so much time that there was not really enough time to spend on tuning.
Yeah.
And also with the tuning, it goes like you really need to pay attention and time to it, because it just it's not like one of those Marantz receivers where you stick a microphone and it just whoop 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 and you're good to go. Like it takes time. So I went there with him to finalize the tune, and oddly enough, there was a weird bug where I could not adjust the dB levels on the individual speakers, primary and secondary. So you couldn't really balance them out, because the way that obviously the guy sits in his favorite spot, it's completely off axis. It's 2 meters to the right speaker and 4.5 meters to the left. And it's running off a core, which means that there is no microphone to run and calibrate and compensate for that. So you have to do it manually, and it just wouldn't do it for some awkward reason. And we did the tune and blah blah blah. Corrected it at the end, but I just found it was really weird that it wouldn't do it through the app, but you had to do it through the IP address of the speaker and go to the web interface, because through the app interface, which is the same interface, it would not save it. Also, the bug with the checking for software update only pops up through the BNO app, but not through the
web
IP
interface.
address. Yeah. So if when I tune the 90s or 50s now, I either just punch it to the IP address into the phone and set it to show as desktop,
Yeah, that works.
because then it changes. It sucks because it makes the letters like super small, because it basically makes that whole page. So that kind of suckifies the experience, but it doesn't fuck off on you on a third final tuning sweep, right? When you're doing one filter, it always craps out at the third one. Yeah, there's no software. Software's up to date. Well, thanks for telling me. Now, how do I get back out of this window without screwing up losing my measurement? Not screwing up, losing the measurements. There is no way. So that's a little bit of a frustration with it, but other than that, yeah, the 50s are fantastic. When you have them tuned right, they're fantastic.
Yeah. I'm just gonna play around with them as well. But one thing I fear is resetting everything, because it takes so goddamn long.
Oh, it's a whole day. For our setups, it's a day, half a day minimum to play with it. Just to run the microphone around, it's a few hours, and then you sit there and you tweak with the rest of it, the redirection levels. You don't really play with the distance, but the dBs and so on. Yeah, it takes a while to actually, cook the soup the way you like to eat it.
By the way, I noticed something the other day because for the female cat has been curious.
Okay.
As she is the only one that jumps up on the theater. Uh, she obviously moves it. Also, side note, she recently put the music volume up to 78.
Oh, right on. Did she like it?
I think she was fine.
God damn.
But I often come to the living room and my theater is literally pointing at a different direction. And then you turn the TV on and it just stays there. Am I misremembering, or were the old BeoVision like the Avant 32s and stuff? If you moved them manually and you turned the TV on, it would auto sense where it was and put it back to the desired position.
Yeah, it should. I never turn it this way. So let's grab a remote.
Because mine doesn't move at all. Like I can move
Okay.
with the remote, and it has a stand position for TV.
So I'm gonna go without the My Button preset, which already has that set up in it. So we'll just
Yeah.
go to TV and go to YouTube. It's gonna turn to the forward position by itself. I'm not touching anything here.
Mm-hmm.
So it does reset itself.
Huh. Mine doesn't for some reason.
I would run the stand calibration. Yeah, it's there you go. YouTube.
Interesting.
If I go to the My Button one, yes, it'll switch and start turning towards me because that's the kitchen preset.
Yeah, because like the theater is often like, God, like 15 to 20 degrees out of center, right? Because the cat literally jumps on it full speed and then runs on top of it and jumps off again.
I have to say though that I've been using the original theater cable, and it's shit. It's turning to shit now. It's been 2 years, and it's look at that. Where is my freaking pictures?
The Ethernet cable or the
The
HDMI?
Ethernet, yeah, the Ethernet. So let's go to the network side of things, and let's see. This is I don't know if it's the cable or it's the recent software update on the bloody TV, because it never used to do that. So if I go to the network, see, I'm on the Wi-Fi and it's checking the wired connection. But I'm having a control. Like, how is that?
Yeah, that makes very little sense.
So, and I don't know if it's if the thing is jiggling and wiggling, but I'm gonna have to address it at some point. So let's unplug and plug back in, and let's see what happens. If it yeah, Ethernet cable was plugged, so now it's gonna load up everything as it's supposed to, I guess. Let's go to general and check the network again. They had changed the Honeytone was the first theater that I had done connected to the Ethernet. So it's the port actually on the TV. Because I had an experiment. I sold some not antiquated but the legacy equipment. I was playing around with my 9000 Beosound core and an NLML converter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was running the network off of the TV's switch, right? Because my 90s are full. And when you turn the stand, for some reason, that the way that the connector is in there, it just wiggled. It just moved by, I don't know, a nanometer, just enough to lose the connection to the theater. So I really don't feel like taking this apart, but I'm gonna have to do that because it's starting to go more and more. And I have a cable, I just need to replace it. But Preppy, my YouTube functions without a problem. It's the fact that I think is, and I don't have the cables too tight, but when it turns, for some reason, it just loses the connection.
Yeah, I'll have to check my cables as well because, like, my stand will. I can literally push my stand into a different direction, turn the TV off, right? And it doesn't readjust. So maybe it lost connection somewhere.
Copy load. Somebody says re-download the YouTube app. I had done that, brother. I had re-download the YouTube app, and if there's no network, there's no network. It's not the fault of the TV itself per se. It's the cable. That's obviously the theater will always have the network because I'm feeding it directly from the wall, and then this. But to your point, log in and out. Like if you re-download and uninstall the app, you've got to go back and re-log in. So I don't have an issue with that. It's not just the YouTube; it's the Netflix. There is no internet coming into the panel, and that thing switches to Wi-Fi. But what is mind blowing to me, why does it retain the controllability through the BO4 or BO Remote 1, which is talking through that same goddamn cable?
Yeah. I don't know. I think you deserve it because you lost at ice hockey yesterday.
No, I'm not even into that at all. That's not that's gonna be a tough heartbreak if you're going for one with me, bro. But
it's that Four Nations thing. It was wild.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not interested or involved in that. But yeah, it's just that cable because I ran on a Surface. I just swapped it for the B&O Cat 7 regular, the old school. I had the black one because I need a black cable for that. And it worked without an issue. But as soon as I go to the one that is supplied with B&O, man, it's a fucking Dollarama experience. It's
the B&O supplied cable is quote unquote Cat 7, but I don't understand how that cable has that license or that standard because it's such a shit shielding cable.
Oh, dude, it's a terrible cable.
I mean, the sleeving feels like it's gonna fall off if you like bend it a bit too far. Like it feels like it's sort of loose plastic on there of like I don't know, Walmart bag quality.
Anders, I can completely understand your issue with the Harmony because we had the same in our store, but the fucker moves up and down. So there is the lateral movement. There is micro tension, I guess, when it comes up and down, even though it's, Velcroed in properly, whatever you want to call it. This has no rhyme and reason. There's nothing that moves. It fucking turns. And it's not like it's turning that, the cable's so tight. Even if it was tight, it's tight on the bottom of the stand, and then it goes up and nothing messes with that. I do not understand what causes that, other than my only logical explanation for that is the vibration. Because I had
one question, and this may be an LG thing. Have you considered factory resetting the panel and thereby never having it connected to Wi-Fi in the past? That's another thing where I think it may be LG related, that if you've ever had your panel on Wi-Fi and haven't had it factory reset, that it'll initialize the Wi-Fi first before falling back to wired internet.
That makes a bit of a sense, yeah.
Because you have wired internet now and you didn't before, so I have a feeling it could potentially be that.
Yeah, because I never really the theater was factory reset when I first got it, but then when I did the presets for the 90s, I just basically deleted all the speakers. I deleted all the listening positions, and then I just retuned, but the panel never gotten nuked.
Yeah.
Might be onto something there.
Because it may be a software issue of initialization which goes first, right? And because it finds a lot of Wi-Fi in your area and then goes, oh, should I check any of these?
Yeah. No, that makes sense because I did put it on the Wi-Fi because I didn't have anything before that. So
I mean, who knows? It may actually just be an initialization issue in LG software since the latest updates. But if not, it may also just be that it used to be on Wi-Fi and it's checking for it.
2 updates ago, I guess, I have now this AI nonsense come in there, right? Yeah. I have the camera slot for whatever reason, and I have the AI picture wizard, which never was in existence on the LG or the G2 panels 2 years ago. So yeah, maybe maybe they're loading the older panels with software that is meant for the newer, faster processors, and this is getting into some sort of a kerfuffle inside the LG screen, or I don't know. I don't think it's anything other than the goddamn cable, bro. I honestly think so. So, and
Yeah.
today is a nice day to do the change because there's no
You
way I'm
can't
gonna
go
go
anywhere
outside.
anyway.
So I'm
Too
gonna
much
get
snow.
that done.
Look,
Exactly.
we couldn't even see the bloody lines on your road.
Oh, dude, I took a picture when it was actually like reasonable, because obviously I
Jesus
was
Christ.
driving. Oh yeah, no. This was 30-meter visibility, and I'm being nice. So it definitely is. It's a shit show out here today, and tomorrow's gonna be interesting too.
Yeah, King Kong says apparently that I'm right. On his G1 panel, all internet problems were solved by disabling Wi-Fi.
Well, there's my answer. I'm gonna do that today. I'm gonna reset the tits out of it, and then the problem is that I'm gonna lose my girlfriend's Netflix login. Fuck.
Yeah, that's partially why I don't want to reset panels either, because you have so many fucking apps and passwords now, and like you set half of these passwords with a keyboard in your hand, and then you have to enter them on TVs with a remote, and it's such a pain in the ass.
It's not as painful with the Beo remote one than it is with the freaking LG Magic Wand nonsense. I despise that remote with passion.
Yeah.
But
yeah, same. Anyway, thank you all for watching.
Reset the shit.
See you all next week. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and have a good week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.